Well, hey, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30-plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today for September 17th, 2025, I'll run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. Hope everyone's doing good. Altronimus, good to see you there. That music I was just playing was from Kid Chameleon. And what it is I have a playlist of video game music I've loved through the years that I will, from time to time, most of the time, load up a song, random song to play before the show starts. And then as I was scrolling, I was like, oh, Kid Chameleon. And then something came to me. It's like, I really should try to beat and complete Kid Chameleon. I don't know if you guys ever played it. It was on Sega Genesis. It's for some reason that's a game that I remember fondly every moment. Or I feel like, okay, so 92, it came out in 92, so I was like 8 or 9. And I just remember when we rented it, put it in, turn it on, and then I remember seeing the 1992 that would start. Actually, let me share my screen real quick. It might be hard to see, but on the main screen at the bottom, remember it would say 1992, and that was like the first time I was aware of a date or a time a game was made and how that can be a reflection on that time. I guess that was the first time I became aware of that, and I find that very interesting because after that point, I felt like I would track moments in time based on what consoles or what games were out or I was playing. It's very interesting. Anyway, the thing with Kid Chameleon, it's a fun game. You wear a lot of masks, have a lot of powers. It's almost like a modern Mario game, but back then. Does that make sense? I don't know. So what's interesting about this game is I remember hearing it had 100 levels, and I was like, oh man, I would love to be able to beat that game. And I don't remember how far I've gotten. I remember, I feel like this game has one of the best bosses. Like when I would think, oh, what is an awesome boss for a level? And just in terms of the atmosphere and the design, let me see if I can do like Kid Chameleon first boss. It might be second boss. It might be, yes, the first boss, the Shishka boss. Is that what it was called? Is that the real name? What? So to look at this, I just remember it being cool. It seems really cool, but also freaky, like this thing just shooting, the animation of the mouth spitting things out. And then it's just giant, and then around the world, and I'd have to jump around and try to find it, or fight it. And again, this is 1992, but I feel like, the Genesis really did a good job with its graphics in 1992. Again, it's almost like Sega knew to make things seem like it's from a show or it's like animated, like try not to, like, for instance, Mario was designed based on the limitation of pixels. Sega tried their best to make things seem like modern cartoons. That's where we got like Sonic and all that. So anyway, this is just a little tangent in the morning. Is that really a tangent? No, it's just like a side comment, which could be the same thing. I associate tangent with like venting, but anyway, it's just, I think that's a goal of mine now, to complete Kid Chameleon. How long to beat Kid Chameleon? Okay, beating the main objectives of Kid Chameleon takes approximately 4.5 to 8 hours, depending on your skill level and whether you use warp pads. A casual playthrough focused on completion, however, could take around 11.5 hours to see all aspects of the game, which includes over 100 levels. This is the main thing that blew my mind. And it's like, I'll never be able to experience that. And a lack of save systems requiring the entire game to be played in one sitting, which is insane. That's why it makes so much more sense now with emulation. And that's what's funny. This was probably 2001 or 2002, probably 2002. It was the last time I was living with my parents. You know, I graduated high school, or it was right before I graduated. Anyway, it was around that time, but this is when emulation was actually a thing. And I remember, even though I had the Sega, did I have my Sega Genesis at the time? I think I did. I remember I sold and bought a new one. But I remember this is one of the first games I had loaded up on the emulator back then, when I knew that was the thing. Because like, oh, I want to get back to actually try to beat this game. So think about that. 100 levels, no save system, 11.5 hours to see everything in the game, but no save system. So that's my plan. I'm going to start playing Kid Chameleon, whittling a little bit every day to finally see the whole thing. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the start of the show, where I talk about what I've been playing. And it hasn't been too different. Still playing Split Fiction with the wife. And even yesterday, it's funny, like she likes to play. Like, she's always like, hey, let's play. I'm the type where I like to play games, but sometimes I have to feel myself if I'm in the mood or not. And it was funny because sometimes I'm not in the mood to play Split Fiction, but she wants to, so I will. But it's funny, last night I could tell she wasn't either. Not that a good or bad thing, but I just think when it comes to playing video games, and I think this is healthy, it's just sometimes you would rather do something that you're not in the mood, you know. But anyway, I just think it was cool because what we did was we just got through some main parts of the game. We're at the part where either we just finished it or about to, where we're both on a dragon, and it's pretty cool. At the end of the day, again, I'd say for a gamer like me by myself, I have no reason to play this, but with other people, I guess it's fun. All right, Odin Sphere. Well, look, 5 hours, 40 minutes. I beat the game with Gwendolyn, the first character. Now is it Cornelius? And then there's 2 other characters. So I'm having a lot of fun with this game. It is super repetitive, so I'm surprised I'm sticking through. But here's the thing. I think it's because it's super repetitive, but I remember, you know, a lot of games sometimes have this where they have their sort of item systems where you're crafting, creating. There's a lot of games where I never do the crafting component, or if I do, it's very little, and then I beat the game. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. Going back to the Sega Genesis time, Decap Attack, you would get different potions that you could use in between, and I never did. But because the game is so repetitive, I was able to take that break every once in a while by planting seeds, using phosons to have the seeds grow into different plants. The different plant types then allowed me to create different potions and other things. So I think that helps break it up. Music's amazing. Graphics are amazing. The other really strange thing about it is when the original came out, which, let me look that up again. Odin Sphere, 2007. Okay, so let's do Portrait of Ruin. 2006. Okay, so then 2008 would have potentially been Order of Ecclesia. What I'm trying to get at here is it's very interesting to see a game that looks as good as Odin Sphere on the PS2, but Konami didn't try to do that with Castlevania, which it's, again, interesting that Castlevania stayed on DS when Odin Sphere is an example of there's still 2D games that can do well, 2D, hand-drawn games. But it's also interesting because PlayStation had a specific initiative in the early 2000s to not have 2D games on their platform. So anyway, I'm saying all this stuff because I think sometimes devs are forced to do certain things or they could be in the right place in the right time. But I feel like there's an alternate history where Castlevania got sort of the vanillaware treatment in the mid 2000s, and the games would be released on PlayStation and Xbox with that vanillaware, the graphics on it, because even the combat system is good. I prefer the map and level design of a Castlevania than Odin Sphere. Odin Sphere is really just there just to be there, and it has no point, no purpose. Like the map, like the way the system works, it's very interesting. It's like you walk around. If you walk in a straight line, you end up coming back to where you were because each section is just a certain size. It's kind of strange, but it works. Anyway, just wanted to kind of connect the dots there. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go through an Odin Sphere and go through the game with the other characters. What's cool is when you start with the other characters, you start in a different place on the map. So, and different combat abilities. All right, and then SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. I logged in to get some of the goodies. I didn't actually play. So there's that. But you know what? I should get the rest of the achievements. That's a good goal for me. All right, and then Lego Voyagers played a little more. That's pretty fun, though I'm running into an issue not related to the game itself, and it's more related to, I have the ROG Ally hooked up in the living room, so I could do some PC gaming in the living room if I'm not streaming. Like, there's multiple ways to go about it. Anyway, Lego's a game that just runs fine off the ROG Ally, but for some reason, there's an issue. I thought it was the ROG Ally. I thought it was my controllers. Basically, it's hard to get two controllers to work. They'll work, but then one will disconnect, and then one will come back, and then one will disconnect. But then I noticed it happened to my wireless keyboard also, because I keep in our coffee table, there's a little wireless keyboard, so I can access the computer easily. I'm thinking, and the brand is Baseus. Wait a minute, Baseus. Isn't that the name of the first boss in Armored Core? But anyway, I think the dock just doesn't get the power it needs. So my first test, and actually I did not think that out through, but I need to, so I have a laptop AC adapter that I'm using to power the dock. I should probably go and grab my actual Asus ROG Ally power adapter to make sure it is getting enough juice that then the controllers are working. Because as we're playing two-player, one controller will disconnect, and then another one, and then we'll come back. And it has to be a power draw issue through a dock. I would think so. Well, hey, JamKillX, good to see you. Okay, so that was it for what I was playing. Yeah, not too much, because again, it's like, work, get off work, chill, family. So not too much playing. Not too much playing. I guess we could start diving into some news. Let's see what we have here. Devs are more worried than ever that generative AI will lower the quality of games. It's interesting that this is framed as devs are more worried. And here's the other thing, too, and I think this is like the same thing when you look at how many people are on social media. There are a lot of developers that are just under a huge publisher. And so in that case, sure, you might think it will lower the quality of the games, but big publishers are trying to find out where they can cut corners right now. I mean, I blame the big publishers to be in that spot in the first place. But if you're a developer working on a game, you're going to choose whether you want to use generative AI or not. And it might lower the quality of the game. It might not. So, for instance, Bandai's new Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, people don't like it because it plays old. It's like, this is like an older game. But it has generative AI for the textures and all that. And so you could argue the quality of the game is low, but not because of AI in that instance. Although you could argue that the use of AI for cutting corners, in the end, it's the cutting corners that is the problem, not the use of AI. You can use AI without cutting corners. But, Bandai Namco, and I hate to seem like I'm picking on them, but, a bunch of bigger publishers are in this boat right now where they are trying to figure out how to save money, and they're all doing it in different ways. You could completely cut games, or use AI where appropriate. So, oh, Jim Killex, you're thinking of Baltius, and that's the second filter bus. Thank you. Thank you. Those names are close enough, but that's pretty cool. I like it when I think I can reference something, and then one of you guys shout it out. That's pretty funny. Okay. Okay, here's another little news thing. Video game TV adaptations boost player numbers 140% on average, says new report. So this is pretty neat. A lot of times, though, these TV shows come from games that are made by big publishers. And a lot of time, there's a Hollywood system. A lot of times these games or these movies or TV shows are made in. So a lot of this makes sense. I really think it's cool. Like that when I was a kid, the Saturday morning cartoon, then you had the action figure. As an adult, you get a good video game, you get a good TV show out of it. For me, though, most of the time it doesn't work. And I think that's because it's not targeted for me. This is just another avenue to get the mainstream money and to try to make things mainstream. So Fallout never got into the games. Just not my thing. TV show, started watching it, couldn't connect with it. I think second episode, I just stopped. The Last of Us, played the first game, beat it, didn't like it. Started watching the TV show, was like, yeah. Not. So you really did. Oh, Halo is interesting. The story of the Halo show was pretty bad. When it's like they made up all these new things, new characters. Master Chief was naked in it. Like, why would you do that? But the action scenes in the TV show, especially the second season, were straight up from the video game. It's like they nailed that part, but not the story part. So I guess what I'm getting at here is, in general, I think I think what you can make a movie or TV show from a game, but I think where the money is making it as part of an event thing. Like, oh, this game has come out in the past year. Let's launch this TV show / movie. Let's have them wash each other's back, etc. It could be, and I think within that we'll get the good movie here and there, good TV show. Very rarely do I think these video game movies or TV shows are any good, and that's really just due to, well, I'll word it differently. These movies and TV shows usually don't turn out the way people want, because I think the Dead or Alive movie, I loved that movie. And it played into what the game was. And so that worked, but it didn't work for most people. That's the thing. That's why I'm excited about this new Street Fighter movie. I don't know if you guys, let me show you guys 50 Cent Twitter. I mean, this is sick. And as someone that's been boxing recently, I'm totally feeling this vibe. So this is 50 Cent boxing because he's been training and shooting for his character of Balrog. And you can even see he has the haircut. He has the Balrog haircut going on. I guess it's hard to see from here. It is insane. Like, so having a goofy, because it was stylized for the artwork in the 90s. Using that in the movie, I think, is a good direction, because it's showing that it's looking at the art. It's looking at what are the visual cues that make it stand out. So, yeah, I thought I saw a good shot before. That might have been... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at how cool he looks. And, there's some cool songs, 50 Cent's had out in the past. Like in my 20s, when I was going clubbing, a lot of his songs were there. But he's a pretty cool dude. He even, didn't he make a comment where he doesn't drink alcohol, or when he does, it's very rarely, just because he doesn't want to miss a day at the gym. And I totally get him, because since I started boxing and going to the gym in May or June, I haven't missed a day. And I've been very deliberate with what I do during the day to make sure my next day, I'm fine. Anyway, this is an example of something that gets me pumped, of a movie video game adaptation crossover thingy. So I can't wait for that. And I think we're just going to keep seeing it more and more. Okay. And I was going to make a joke like, oh, they can make a Tetris movie, and they actually did. They actually did. Okay, what was this that didn't load? This had to do with the Game Pass. I'm just using the URL to read this to you guys. Hades, Visions of Mana, and Deep Rock Galactic Survivor are going to be added in September. I don't know if the website went down or something. I'll get back to that. Here's another thing, a Nickelodeon Splat Pack. I know I was talking about a lot of 90s things, and this is pretty interesting. I don't know if I would get this. I do think limited run games does kind of price things a bit high. So it's $34.99 or $69.99. What the heck? And it's 3 games from the 90s. All Real Monsters, Nickelodeon Guts, and Rocko's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Day, which I think we even talked about it on here one time. I had played one of them, and that must be this one. Yeah, I remember
Stimpy and Rock bad as any of the Ren and Stimpy games.
That is pretty cool. Here, so you know, it'd be cool to play something like this again, but I wouldn't pay $34.99 if like one of the games was like $4.99 on Steam. You know, I'd pick that up. Just $34.99. I don't know. It was the same thing with Ninja 5.0. It was sold for $25, which is not bad, but it's a really small and short game based on, you know, the Game Boy Advance game pretty much. Let's see. Was the Nickelodeon Guts game? I don't. Oh, okay, Super Nintendo.
But if Rocco's exclusive for the exactly the same. Action Sports is your typical obstacle when you jump.
You know what? Wow, a lot of this looks familiar.
And that's going to cost you time.
I probably played this and didn't like it. Doesn't seem like something I would totally be into. And then the All Real Monsters, I know I didn't play that. I remember that cartoon came out like right at the end of me watching did it? Let me see. Real Monsters. 1994. No, I was still watching cartoons, that's for sure. I guess I just didn't get into this for some reason. Oh yeah, Cody Rhodes' Guile. I know they've got a lot of neat a lot of neat actors on it. Limited Run has earned the ire they receive. That's what it seems like. It's a little weird with Limited Run. It's like I feel like they're doing something good, but then it always turns out bad in terms of like when they found out like the CDs used for one of the games wasn't actually playable on the 3DO or something like that. And then even a cartridge that was like, there's always these issues. Like even for me, I was supposed to get the Dominus collection back in June. It's been delayed. Still, actually, let's look real quick. Yeah, Castlevania Dominus collection. Estimated ship date September 16th to September 30th. And it is the 17th. I better hear soon. And I'm going to be at their store at the end of October. So it's like, you know, it's kind of a weird thing where I don't know where I stand really. Okay. Okay, that's not going to load. What the heck? Okay. What's with these? Did something happen? I'm going to copy just to see if, yeah, that's just so weird. Okay. Computers. But this is interesting. Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition adds Xbox Series version due out September 30th. So this is the Alien game on VR that came out. I want to say it was late last year. Was it late last year? Yeah, because Zombie Army was... I'm keeping a mental note of when these VR games come out. I didn't get it because of the reviews. But apparently this is a non-VR version that they're coming out with. Let's see. And what's interesting, oh yeah, it's the Epic Game Store, okay. But then it went to Steam. Okay. So does that mean, I'm just wondering if this is a non-VR version of it. Let's see. Yeah. Although I don't know if it would be that good because they're basically just taking the VR game, making it into a traditional game. But people didn't like the VR game. Anyway, adding to wish list. Okay, something to keep in mind. It's $29.99. That is a entry level price. That is a really good base price. So let's look at this. Rebuilt for PC with stunning visuals, 60 FPS, well, 3D audio, haptic feedback, and adaptive triggers. Alien Rogue Incursion Evolved Edition delivers a cinematic action experience that makes you truly feel like you're inside the world of Alien. Well, I hope. I definitely want to play this. I wonder how much this was like. They got the VR game out and then the TV show's doing good and they're like, oh, we need something that we could sell right now. I can't believe I haven't continued watching Alien Earth. What is with me? I need to, this weekend, pick a time to start watching some more episodes. Anyway, did you not like it because of the VR aspect or just the game as a whole? Actually, I didn't play it on VR because the reviews were that bad. So, because I was, what games? There's the Batman game that came out and the reviews were good. So I played it. I was like, wow, this is good. The Starship Troopers game came out. The reviews were good. So I played. I was like, yeah, this is good. I was just surprised that the Alien reviews were low because on these other VR games, I'm like, wow, is it where everyone's just positive? So I really did decide to skip Alien VR because of the reviews. So I'm so bloody excited for the season finale of Alien Earth. Well, then I need to get on there and watch it if that's the case. Anyway, this is exciting. September 30th, a new Alien FPS. Might not be that great, and I don't want to be negative, but it's only 30. So I want to really look at this as a fun romp through like an Alien, thing. So, all right, here's something, not trying to get political or anything, but this is just an interesting thing to happen within the gaming sphere, and that is Sony fires Ghost of Yotei artist allegedly over Charlie Kirk joke. Charlie Kirk being a YouTuber that recently got shot and killed while at a campus doing a speech, which is sad. It's horrible. So I did look, I don't want to, it's like, I don't want to dwell on this stuff, but it is pretty crazy how mean, rude, negative, I don't know what the word, hateful, where these people are, like celebrating the death of someone, which there's a couple aspects to this. One, people are online all the time and we're going to then see this a lot, but it's just, the weird thing about this one is it was the what was their position? It's a 10-year veteran of Sucker Punch claimed that she oh, okay, so I didn't realize Drew Harrison was interesting. The whole time I thought this was a guy because of the name Drew. Unless I'm, yeah, so I guess it's really girl. So apologies if I was using the wrong. See, that's the other thing. Anyway. Yeah, I think this is a big deal. In a couple of things, because it's like, people should be able to have their own opinions however they want, but it's kind of not cool to go around like celebrating violence or someone dying. Like it's this weird line you got to draw, because you should be able to say what you want, but you shouldn't be negative about other people. And I guess that's what's good about it happening within Sony, because it's not like it's a legal thing. It's not like then this person's going to be arrested, but they are being told, hey, you're going to lose your job because it's not nice to be mean like that. So, Drew Barrymore. Good point. Good point. That is a girl's name for sure. Okay. Anyway, I just want to bring that up because I think I don't like to talk politics on this channel, but it is interesting that a senior artist for 10 years that's working on a game that's about to drop got fired, and that a trailer came out for it, I think yesterday or the day before, and they purposely didn't post it on X. And then see, by not posting it on X, it's almost like, yeah, we don't want it. And I'm kind of cool with that. I don't make noise if it's just going to invite a lot of crap. I don't know how, like, for instance, Bandai Collect Instagram, this was dumb, in my opinion. They posted, we've seen some AI generated stuff that's insensitive. We are investigating. And it's like, well, why are you posting that? Oh, it's to draw eyes and attention. See, they went the wrong way. Anyway, that's a whole other thing, but very interesting. Okay, let's move on. Earnest Evans Collection launches December 25th in Japan. Digital English release also planned. So this is another old school style. Actually, can I? So wait, not PC. Interesting. Yeah. So if you guys remember, like Wolf Team, El Viento. This is El Viento. I think was the one I had, and no, that's a game on Genesis. It was like a side-scrolling action game. It was pretty cool. I guess there's maybe a picture there. I never expected this, but so Idea, video game publisher in Japan. So this is cool. So this isn't like a limited run games thing. This is straight up from a Japanese publisher. So that's pretty cool because, it says December 25th in Japan. So it might be one of those things where I don't care, and then I'll just log into my Japanese account. That's a good Christmas game, collection of games. Or I'll just wait a little and see if, like the English release not too far after. But it's interesting that I saw this. Okay, so El Viento originally launched in Genesis September 1991, followed by November 1991 North America. So, but Earnest Evans launched for Mega CD on December 20th, 1999. Followed by Genesis. Okay, so they must have just accidentally put 1999. That might have meant to be 1991, since followed by Genesis in March 1992. And then something else in March 1993. So let me just research this real quick. Earnest Evans, Sega CD. That's cool. This one I never played, but I knew of it. And it's taking its time. I saw something, though. Limited run games. There we go. Ernest Evans in the Net returns premium pack. Sega CD. Estimated ship date. Interesting. I did not know about this. Oh, so they're selling them separately. Oh, it's the actual Sega CD. That's pretty crazy. Although I would just get the digital version. But all right, it is that time. That was fun. You know what? There was actually some more I was going to cover, but I can plan that for tomorrow. One day in the future, this would be a 45-minute to an hour show. So that might be for me starting earlier, or maybe doing these around my lunch time. We'll see. But hope you all have a good rest of the day. We'll talk later. See you.